So at this point, I hope that we all know that buying bots, doing follow for follow, like for like are all outdated tips. My biggest pet peeve is clicking on videos like this, and the outdated tip is an outdated tip. And so this video, I'm gonna actually share some real outdated tips this year that majority of people don't know about that's actually stunting their Instagram growth. So let's dive into it. Now, the first outdated tip is the fact that you can get away with just posting 1 to twice a week in order to grow on Instagram. Now, this might have worked maybe back in 2019 or even 2020, but it certainly doesn't work today. Doing the bare minimum on Instagram is not actually going to fuel growth. And if you want to take your growth seriously on Instagram, you're gonna have to increase the amount of times that you post per week. Maybe even up to 5 times a week, Monday to Friday, once a day at minimum. Now, I know this isn't the answer that a lot of people are wanting to hear because people don't want to post more, but this is just the social media landscape right now, specifically on Instagram. Now, of course, posting 1 to twice a week is better than posting none. However, we have time and time again through looking at data and through actually observing all the accounts that were able to grow fast, the pattern was that they increased their post frequency. So if you are someone who is still only posting once a week or even twice a week, I highly recommend that you maybe increase that frequency of output that you're currently doing. Now, at this point in the video, you might already be upset at me for even recommending to increase your post frequency, but just because you increase your post frequency doesn't mean that you are guaranteed to grow, especially if you are utilizing the wrong features that complement today's algorithm. That's why my next outdated tip is you should stop creating single feed posts, specifically quote posts like this. The reason why is because in today's algorithm, we are favoring Instagram Reels. And if you're going to be creating a single feed post, meaning it's not a carousel, it's just one single slide, you are better off turning that into an Instagram Reel like this in order to maximize your reach more non-followers, and fuel growth. In addition to this, let's say you're a photographer or you are someone who just wants to share a single photo of yourself. Instead of posting a single feed post, I highly recommend converting that into an Instagram Reel. Even if it's not a video and it's a single photo, the fact that the format is an Instagram Reel is going to be able to maximize your reach. Not only this, as a bonus tip, you can even layer on trending music on top. You could mute it if you'd like, or you could allow that music to play. By adding that audio, it's also going to maximize your reach as well. So again, even if you want to share photos, just simply turn that into an Instagram Reel and you're going to be able to double your reach. Another example where I've done this is I actually did a recent photo shoot where I had tons of pictures that I wanted to post. Now back then, maybe in 2019, 2020, or even 2021, I would have put that into an Instagram carousel so that people can swipe through. But instead, I leveraged the Reels template feature, picked a template, and then I added all the pictures and it automatically converted that into an Instagram Reel. It literally took 10 seconds to create, and I was able to get way more reach than if I had put that in a carousel post. And so the biggest outdated tip here is if you have a single photo, a single quote post, a single anything, instead of turning that into a single feed post, really consider converting that into an Instagram Reel to maximize your reach. Incorporating an Instagram Reel strategy to your entire content plan, in addition to increasing the amount of posts that you might be doing per week, is absolutely going to help you maximize your results. And so if you are someone who is still doing these outdated tips, I highly recommend making some changes, and I guarantee you're going to see maximum results. Now, moving on to the next outdated tip that most of you guys are still doing, and that is writing long captions, especially for your Instagram Reels. Now, if your strategy is to grow your account, you're gonna want to incorporate Instagram Reels so that you can reach your non-followers. But if that's your strategy, then most of your non-followers are likely finding your Instagram Reels through the Reels Explore feed. And when someone is watching your Instagram Reels through this feed, they're not going to see your caption in full versus if it was already on their home feed. And so most people are not going to be reading this long caption, and you are essentially wasting your time by doing this. Now, specifically, where I think it's not worth your time or energy to write these long captions is if your Reels is self-explanatory. What do I mean by self-explanatory? self-explanatory. It means reels like this where maybe you're pointing and it already tells people what they need to know about what you're trying to teach, or reels like this where you are talking head and you are literally explaining the concept verbatim. And so there is no need for them to actually read the caption in order for you to expand further on the point. However, if you are doing an Instagram Reels where it's more trend-based and just looking at it alone doesn't really give a lot of value, then that's when I would recommend having a long caption. But if you have a call to action at the end of that video that tells people to read the caption. And so what I'm trying to say is that long captions are not dead, but you want to use them efficiently and appropriately in order to maximize your time as a creator. Now you might be wondering, Vanessa, instead of doing long captions then, what do I do instead? For me, if I have an Instagram Reels like this, where the Reels alone is pretty self-explanatory, I actually just have a primary call to action where I tell people to engage with the post if it resonated for them. And then I have a secondary call to action that tells people to check out my link in my bio or tells them to DM me in order to get a lead magnet. Now later on, I'm going to talk about the importance of this, but essentially how you can make this easier on yourself is creating a document where you have all of your primary call to actions, meaning it's your call to actions that's inviting engagement. Comment below if this resonated with you, like if you enjoyed this post, double tap if you enjoyed it, yada, yada, yada. And then you can mix and match with different secondary call to actions that lead people to your lead magnets, lead people to your newsletter, lead people to your YouTube channel, lead people to your offers. Usually what we like to do is we literally just go through this and mix and match. And so that's how we've been able to increase efficiency for our workflow. Now on the topic of call to actions, let's talk about the next outdated tip that you need to stop doing right now, and that is only having one call to action. A lot of people, what they typically do is at the end of their caption, they'll invite people to engage in their post. The reason why they do this as a call to action is because they want to get as much activity on the post within the first few hours so that Instagram says, a lot of people are engaging with this post. There's a lot of activity happening, so let's boost this up in the algorithm. This is a good thing. But here's what people don't realize even to this day, and that is how the Instagram algorithm works. Instagram favors recency, meaning it will never push posts that were uploaded, years ago or even 2 weeks ago. It is very recency based. And so if you have a call to action that's inviting engagement, a few months later, if a follower creeps your profile, sees a post that you posted a few months ago and comments, it's not necessarily going to add more boost to you in the algorithm for that specific post. So what you always want to do is have a secondary call to action that links people back to your offers, links people back to your link in bio, links people to take a specific action, because that is evergreen. It is timeless, meaning if someone finds your post just by creeping your profile, but you posted it a few months ago, they're still going to know what action to take that will actually generate leads and sales to your business. And so a huge mistake is only having one call to action that expires. You want to have a second call to action that acts as a timeless call to action for you to always get leads on autopilot. That is exactly why in all of my posts, you will always see two call to actions. So again, if you are following this outdated tip of only having one call to action to invite engagement, I highly recommend you add that second call to action to boost your efforts. Now, on the topic of secondary call to actions, let's talk about this one outdated tip that is costing you thousands, and that is in your call to action, telling people to go to your link in bio. Now, you can still do this, but there is actually a way better way to do this that actually made me $60,000 in just 3 weeks, and that is using ManyChat. Now, what I do is instead of telling people to click the link in my bio to access a specific offer or a specific lead magnet, what I will do instead is I will use ManyChat to set up an automation where if anyone DMs me a keyword, my bot will automatically send them to that resource directly. Or if they comment the keyword in my post, my bot will DM them and send them that resource as well. This has allowed me to make even more money because I'm sending people a targeted link that they can purchase from rather than them going to my link in bio and then getting lost within all the different links and offers that I have. So if you haven't set up your ManyChat automation yet, you absolutely should consider it because now in today's algorithm, it's totally legal to set up these automations. ManyChat is actually a tool that is approved by Instagram, so you won't have any repercussions if you use this type of automation for your posts. That being said, let's talk about the next outdated tip, and that is not using third-party link in bio apps. What do I mean by this? Back then, we used to give the advice that, hey, instead of using something like Linktree, which is a third party, you should take the extra step to go on your own website and create your own Linktree. The reason why we used to recommend this is because you get to collect the traffic, you get the analytics, you get all of that, because back then, these third-party apps did not provide that info, meaning that if you sent traffic to your Linktree, it's Linktree that's getting the traffic and not you. However, in today's day and age, a lot of third-party link in bio apps actually allow you to put a Facebook pixel integration and also a Google Analytics integration, meaning that you're able to observe the traffic and you're able to retarget that traffic if you are choosing to run Facebook ads. I personally have switched to using a third-party link in bio app because it is so much better than the hassle of me creating my own. In today's landscape, a lot of these third-party link in bio apps not only allow you to schedule your links, allow you to embed video, allow you to embed forms, and allow people to actually give you a call if they want to work with you, they also give you so much more analytics in terms of how many clicks you got for each link, what is the user behavior, and a lot of features that allow you to optimize your link in bio to get more clicks for your business. That's why if you haven't already, to invest in a third-party link in bio app versus creating your own, because you save a lot of time, and these third-party integrations actually give you so much more data that you otherwise wouldn't have gotten yourself unless you are a pro coder. And so if you want to get more leads, optimize for more sales, then definitely look into a third-party link in bio app. Now, that being said, let's talk about the next outdated tip, and that is only having one link in your link in bio to maximize clicks. Back then, what we used to say is, hey, if you want to get the most traffic to one of your links, your link in bio should not be a link tree. It should be one specific link. Now, the reason why I don't believe in this anymore is because the user behavior is changing on social media. We have really short attention spans and people want options. That's why I always have my actual link in bio optimized to showcase all the different offers that I have so that I'm able to create multiple touch points with different types of followers that enter my page. This ultimately increases the amount of nurturing that I'm able to do for each follower, because for each follower, there is a very unique path that they might want to go to when they're exploring the different offers that I have. And by having this link in bio optimized, it creates those opportunities for people to explore my brand even further. Now, the only time that I would maybe just have one link only is if I was having a really targeted, limited time only campaign that I want people to absolutely check out. That would be the only time that maybe I would have one specific link instead of giving people multiple choice. Remember that if you want to nurture your audience and strengthen your relationships, don't limit their options by just having one link. Use a third-party link in bio app that gives them all the options for them to explore your brand even further. And let's say you're a creator that frequently showcases a lot of the different products that you use for your business or for your brand. By having a link in bio that gives people multiple links, you're able to embed the different affiliate links of the products that you use. This not only increases the affiliate income that you can generate, but it also reduces the amount of friction that someone has to go through in order to access your recommendations. A big pain point that I experienced with my Instagram account is people were often DMing and commenting the same questions, asking me, what desk am I using? What camera am I using? What books do I recommend? And so it's just so much easier having all that information in my link in bio, and I am so sure that my followers appreciate that as well. Now, let's shift gears and talk about the next outdated tip that I have for you, and that is using your story highlights as a way to pin the most important information that you want your followers to know about. Now, this isn't to say that Instagram highlights is a bad thing, but there are way better ways for you to pin the most important information that you want your followers or prospective followers to know about. And that is leveraging the pin post feature on Instagram. If you don't know it by now, you can pin up to 3 feed posts to the top of the grid. And how I maximize this feature is the very first post that you see pinned on my grid is a video that says start here as the cover. And when someone clicks on it, I actually welcome my follower to my page and I explain the different content pillars that I have, how they can access my resources, and also information about my paid offers. This is essentially a one-stop shop for someone to get to know my account even better. And this is actually not only only help me generate more leads, but also more DM conversations of people asking me about my paid offers and services. So if you are only using your story highlights to showcase the most important information, I highly recommend that you add on top of that strategy and use the pin post feature as well. Now let's talk about the next outdated tip that people are still doing, and that is only doing trending reels, dancing reels, entertaining reels. This was really popping off maybe in 2020 and 2021, but now we're headed into a more diversified content strategy where the creators that are able to grow the most are not the creators that are only doing entertaining content like this, but they're also doing original videos like this as well. As the CEO of Instagram mentioned, Instagram will be prioritizing creators who actually create original content instead of only following trends. Now, this doesn't mean that you should only do original content and you can't do trend-based videos like this, but it simply means that you want to diversify your content strategy. People are getting sick of seeing the same trends over and over again. They're sick of seeing Instagram become a TikTok. And so you want to make sure that you're protecting yourself by having a more well-rounded content strategy that also showcases yourself as a leader and not just a follower. A lot of people on Instagram nowadays are following a copycat content strategy, and it's only a matter of time where that strategy is no longer going to work. And that's why if you want to get more leads, want to get more sales, and you want to nurture your audience a lot more beyond just getting vanity metrics, you absolutely want to showcase your authority by creating original content like this one. Now, if you are someone who is going to be doing more talking head original videos like this, one outdated thing that you don't want to do is not adding captions to your videos. Now, back then, you likely could have gotten away with it, but now in this day and age, not only do we value accessibility, but we also value video retention, meaning that if your video doesn't have captions that people can follow along as you're talking, you are absolutely going to lose the viewer and you're going to leave a lot of engagement and reach on the table. And so how do you fix this? If you are doing a talking head video, one of the most simple and free ways to add captions is by going into the Reels editor and adding the caption sticker. It will automatically transcribe your video. You don't have to do any more work other than that. Now, the second way to do it is if you actually use an app like CapCut or Vidio. These are two free apps that allow you to transcribe the video and do some editing so that the text matches your brand. Now, if you want to take it a step further, and a really common question that I get is how I create my Instagram Reels, is you can hire a video editor on Upwork to manually edit the video so that they can add emojis, make it more engaging, but most importantly, save you time in the process. So those are the three different ways, ranging from the least amount of work to the most amount of work and most expensive, to create these types of Instagram Reels. But all in all, you want to make sure that even if it's an Instagram Reel or an Instagram story, anything video related, you want to add captions to increase video retention and maximize accessibility for your viewers. Now let's talk about the next topic, and that is hashtags. Are they still relevant or not? Well, this leads me to my next outdated tip, and that is using hashtags. I mentioned it in this video that I have right here, but hashtags are no longer as important in the algorithm simply because Instagram's AI has improved. Even if you don't put a single hashtag in your post, the fact that you have some keywords in your captions, the fact that you might have some keywords in your carousel post just in the text, or the fact that you're even verbally saying certain keywords in your video, Instagram will already know what your post is about. So even without hashtags, if someone is searching for a key term in the search bar, there's a high likelihood that your post will show up without using hashtags. That's why if you are someone who is using hashtags right now and you're not seeing results, it's likely not because you're choosing the wrong hashtags. It's likely because Instagram has no idea what your post is actually about, and also the fact that your content maybe needs to be improved. Now, you might be wondering, how can I increase my discoverability on Instagram? Well, one of the easiest ways to do it is to be consistent in the topics that you talk about. If on your account, one day you're talking about dogs, then you're talking about running a bakery, then you're talking about being a photographer, then you're giving Instagram tips, Instagram is going to be so confused as to what your account is actually about and what your niche is. That's why you want to make sure that you pass the feed test. This is something that I tell my clients about, meaning that if someone were to look at your account and they hide your bio, just by looking at your content alone, can you actually tell what niche or what topics you talk about? If someone can't because your grid is just a mishmash of content, then you don't pass the feed test. Alternatively, if someone hides your feed and they only look at your bio, is your bio clear in what you do? If the answer is no, then you likely also want to fix that up as well. All these things help Instagram categorize your account better, which then helps you rank higher in the algorithm, especially in search. Now, that being said, you might be wondering, so do I not use hashtags at all? No, you can still use hashtags, but what's important to know is that hashtags will not make or break your strategy. Now, if you are someone who still wants to use hashtags to really help Instagram categorize your content further, then the next outdated tip that I have for you is putting your hashtags in the comment section. When you put the hashtags in the comment section, it does not work. I believe Instagram even verified this. You want to make sure that if you are incorporating a hashtag strategy, just to give some extra context to Instagram on what your post is about, you're going to want to put that in the caption section of your post, not the comments. If you're currently doing that, change it up right now because you are actually not adding any benefit to your account whatsoever. Now, let's move on to the next outdated thing that some of you guys might be doing, and that is manually posting reels. Now, at the beginning of this video, I talked about how in order to grow in this day and age is to not only increase your post frequency, but also focus on putting out some Instagram reels. The issue that comes with that is you're gonna have to find time to actually post those Instagram reels, especially if you're doing them at a higher volume. And a mistake that some of you guys might be making is still going on your phone and manually posting them. What if I told you that you no longer really need to do this and you can use a third-party app like Later in order to schedule out your Instagram reels? For us, this is how we do it, and it saved us tons of time. The only downside right now is you can't necessarily schedule your posts that have trending audio on top. So this really only works if you're doing original content where you're speaking to camera. Whereas if you're actually doing trend-based videos or you want to add some sounds or music, you're going to still need to manually post them. But all in all, knowing the fact that you can actually schedule your reels now is going to be a time saver for a lot of you, especially if you are side hustling your content strategy right now. Now, if you are someone who wants to try out scheduling your posts, then just check out the link in my description box below for a coupon code to Later. Now, let's talk about the next outdated strategy, and that is posting to your Instagram stories every single day. If you want to reset the algorithm and reset the amount of views that you're getting on your stories, I highly recommend taking a 24-hour break, especially if you're noticing that you've posted way too many stories in a day. You adding extra slides to your never-ending story series is actually going to decrease the amount of views that you get over time. Whereas if you are someone who wants to reset that, then I highly recommend you actually take a 24-hour break, wait until your profile picture has that blue plus sign, and then start creating stories all over again. What you'll notice is that if you take a 24-hour break, once you start posting again, you'll actually see way more views than if you didn't take that break. Not only this, if you want to maximize the amount of views that you get, you definitely want to make sure that the first post that you put out is something that's engaging. Maybe add a poll, maybe add a question sticker, maybe add a slider. Anything that's going to allow someone to actually engage with your story is going to show Instagram that people are interested in your story and actually increasing the chances of Instagram bumping up your story to the first slot of someone's home feed. So definitely consider this strategy if you're noticing that your views on stories have been decreasing lately. Now, if you are someone who is interested in really supercharging the growth that you're seeing on your Instagram account, then I highly recommend you watch this video that I have right here where I share some strategies for Instagram Reels specifically. In today's day and age, Instagram Reels does help you get an extra boost on the algorithm and it helps you reach non-followers. Even on my account, Instagram Reels, it's what's really driving the growth of my account. And so I highly recommend you use an Instagram Reel strategy if you want to grow. That's why you definitely want to check out this video next. As always, guys, I appreciate you and I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.